Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback. I am your host, Ryan Oliver, and today I'm very excited because I am joined by one of the rising stars from the 2027 class, Christopher Vargas. Christopher, how are you?
Very good.
All right, you heard that. Very good. I like that. You sound like you're in a good mood today, Chris. I was looking at your film recently, and I was like, wow, I got to have Chris on Monday Morning Quarterback because I really think you have a great skill set. You have a great talent for throwing the ball, and you're one of these guys that needs a bigger spotlight. So I'm really happy to have you here on Monday Morning Quarterback. I want to start with your game. Tell me where you feel like your game is right now at the quarterback position. Tell me how you feel about it.
I feel very confident in my game. I just have to work on a small amount of things.
Yeah, well, so tell me a little bit about some of the work that you put in behind the scenes, maybe like your training and things like that to go out there and ball out on the field on game day.
So I've been doing 7-on-7 leagues so I can get better in my decision making on the field. And I have done speed work and strength and conditioning.
And how often a week, Chris, would you say that you're working on your game outside of like normal football practice, like, training sessions and things like that?
Probably during weekdays, which is 5 days a week, and some games on Saturday and Sundays.
I got you. Yeah, I like to make athletes get specific because I think sometimes people see you guys perform on game day and they think, oh wow, Chris got a lot of talent. He can really throw the ball. But it's like, no, Chris is dedicated all week long to making those deposits so you can play well on game day. So I like for athletes to talk about that work that they're putting in. Chris, for someone that hasn't seen you play football, if they come to a game where Christopher Vargas is playing quarterback, what can they expect to see?
For someone that has not seen me play, they can expect to see my leadership on the field and the attributes that I bring to my team, which are my arm strength and my accuracy and my ability to be a leader.
Well, you hit on a couple of things I want to talk about. Let's talk about the arm strength and accuracy. Those are things that really leaped out to me when I was watching your film. I was completing your scouting report, and I think the first clip you just threw like a nice, perfect pass, and I was like, okay, this kid's got a lot of talent. How long have you been playing the quarterback position? And tell me a little bit about like what came first. Did like the arm talent come first, like just a natural ability to throw the ball, or was it something you had to put work in to kind of get to where you're at now?
So my arm strength did come in like when I started football. That's
Okay.
the first thing that my coach noticed, and he wanted me to put at the quarterback position since I was 5.
Okay, wow. And how old are you now?
I am 12 years old.
Okay, so about 7 years at quarterback or so. That's yeah, you got a good foundation for your game. I think that you can kind of see when guys have been playing the position for a while at your age, because there's a level of like polish that you have that I think some other quarterbacks your age may not have yet, and then just come with time for some people. But I think your accuracy and arm strength are very impressive, Chris. So keep doing what you're doing to kind of hone your game and work at it. You mentioned those things as some of your strengths. Are there any other areas of your game that you view as strengths of yours?
Probably my ability to like for my leadership and to bring up my teammates and like pump them up before the game
Yeah.
to get them ready.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your leadership. I'm glad you brought that up. It sounds like you kind of view yourself as a leader that maybe you lead by both example and your voice and kind of and your words. Would you say that that's an accurate description of your leadership?
Yes, I would say that's an accurate description of my leadership.
Okay, yeah. And I think that's good. I think a lot of young quarterbacks, they're kind of searching for their voice. So a lot of times they say like, oh, I lead by example because I'm kind of finding my way as a young athlete. But I think that but playing the quarterback position, you got to have kind of that vocal leadership too. Chris, I want to ask you about some of your short-term goals and your long-term goals. I'm assuming because you're very dedicated to playing quarterback at such a young age already, that you have some ambition in the game of football that you'd like to take it. Can you tell me a little bit about some of your goals?
Some of my goals I have in life are to help my parents and be a better person the best person I could be. And some goals that I have for football is to get my multiple D1 offers so my parents don't have to pay for college and get to the NFL.
When you heard that, multiple. He don't want one D1 offer. He needs a plethora, a bunch of D1 offers. So Monday morning quarterback's a good place to kind of get that out there and let these people know that I'm serious about my game and I'm looking, I got big ambitions for myself. I think that's really cool what you said about helping out your parents and making sure you get your education and all that good stuff. Of course, I know you want to make it to the big leagues one day. So I know that getting to the NFL is probably like the ultimate goal. So I think that that's really awesome, Chris. I want to ask you a little bit about off the field stuff. What are some things you like to do when you're not playing football, you're not at school? What are some of your hobbies or things you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I would like to work out and work like my craft. And also some hobbies that I have are usually like going out with my friends, having a good time, and some video games.
Okay, see, I knew we were gonna get to the video game. I was waiting for you to drop the video games because I knew that was coming. Okay, so in your free time, what video game we popping on? What games popping off for you?
For right now, it's Warzone
Okay,
mostly.
Warzone. All right, man. So you got to tell me what's so great about Warzone because I got friends. I'm talking about 30-year-old men that I'm friends with from college that try to get me to play Warzone. I'm like, nah, man. I'm a little too old for it, I think. But what is it about Warzone that's so good, man? Like, you got to tell me what am I missing?
It's like you're playing other people, so you're like it's like so hard to explain. It's just fun for me because I love like playing in competitive things.
Yeah, I get that, and it gets competitive. I've seen people they be so I get that. I get it. It's the competitive name. You're on like teams, right? So you're fighting other people on
Yeah.
other yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. I get it. But I got these grown men. I'm like, yo, don't y'all got other things to do? We grown now, But anyway, it's not that's really cool. I know a lot of people like Warzone. This is the toughest question I'm gonna ask you, Chris. Um, before a big game, what is in your headphones to get you pumped up to go out there and throw them touchdowns? What artist you got on? What song you got on? Is there an artist that pumps you up? Who is it?
I have like two artists.
Okay.
It's Drake and Sleepy Hollow.
Okay. Sleepy Hollow. All right. So put me on game with him. I don't know him. Who's that?
It's a rapper that I just got onto from my
Okay.
friends.
All right.
And some songs that he have made is 2055, 1999, and there's an album that's called Still Sleeping.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go to YouTube or something and check that out. So obviously I know Drake. That's probably a go-to, but I'm gonna have to check out the other guy you just mentioned. But whatever you're doing, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're doing to put in work to your craft is working on game day because your talent speaks for itself. Chris, as we wrap this interview up, I want to ask: is there anything else about you that people should know or you'd like people to know about you?
Something that I would like to like speak about is I'm also a multi-sport athlete. I play baseball and basketball.
Okay, well, I'm not going to let you leave it there because now I'm even more intrigued. What positions do you play in both sports?
In baseball, I mostly play middle infield and outfield.
And in basketball?
Basketball, I usually play. It depends on the team. Like if my team's kind of small, I
Yeah.
usually play center because I'm one of the biggest kids on my team. But if it's more like a bigger team, I would usually play like small forward, power forward.
Yeah, and because you're like 5'11", correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you probably are one of the bigger kids on your team, huh? That makes sense. And also that probably helps your ability to like at the quarterback position too, because you probably can see down the field really well against your opponents and things like that to deliver the ball the way you need it to go. That's another thing I want to say, Chris, before I let you go, is I think your ability, like you have good vision. I can see that. I can see it on your film. It's like you see it before the defense knows it's coming. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And I feel like that helps you place the ball. I watch a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of film and stuff like that. So I can tell when I see a young quarterback, like, okay, he's seen it a little bit faster than other kids his age or, that type of thing. But I think that's really cool. You seem like you got a great head on your shoulders, Chris. You played multiple sports. I think that's really good. Keep doing that. I think that football is obviously great, but playing other sports is just as a young man, is a great way to just kind of keep your horizon expanded. And I'm sure you have joy for all those other things too. So, keep doing your thing, man. You got a lot of talent. I want to thank you for joining me on Monday Morning Quarterback. This is 2027 quarterback Christopher Vargas. Chris, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.